treat me like dirt. I hope you enjoy the cold. I worked as a mechanic in the Air Force for 9 years, but it took until year 3 before I finally convinced Command to send me to get licenses, to drive the vehicles I had been working on, just military things. The driving courses are a 10-day-long Army run event, so I ended up at an Army base, midwinter, with a driving instructor that hated the Air Force, taking every chance he could to smack-talk me. A bit of fun rivalry is to be expected, but this was something else. First day on the course he singles me out saying, "As you can see, we have a chair force lad here and he turns out to be a mechanic." Sarcastically saying afterwards, "Make sure to be careful with your rigs so he won't have to fix them for you." First 2 days he rides my butt to look at small things he deemed critical, forcing me to crawl around in the mud and snow. I was supposed to be there to get my licenses and not be a mechanic. Jump to day 3 when I get a call on the radio asking me to have a look at the instructor's vehicle. He says, "Chairforce, get yourself here, I have a coolant leak in the cab. Let's see if they teach you anything other than how to drink coffee and stand around." "No problem, Sergeant, on the way." Using the onboard tools I take a look at the vehicle. I notice a split heater core hose dripping into the vehicle. For reference, the heater core turns hot coolant into heat for the cabin and it's snowing outside. Knowing full well I could shorten the hose and it would be fine, I chose to disable the heater core completely, telling him, "Sorry SGT, the heater is busted and I can't allow the coolant to leak, so I had to disable it." He was absolutely fuming. He spent the next week driving around in his ice-cold vehicle looking absolutely miserable, taking every moment to complain about the cold and the bad Air Force mechanic. I just laughed from the comfort of my warm truck. "Nice. Perfectly diabolical. Brilliant. Did you get your licenses?" The guy begrudgingly signed me off thankfully. I was in the Navy, and I've given plenty of good-natured grief to people who were in the Air Force. But I've also met people who wanted to join the Navy and tried to talk them into joining the Air Force instead. I married up. She was USAF. Flight medic, made MSGT. I was a BM3. As a former jarhead mechanic, I approve. You were so thoughtful and kind to make sure he was safe from that leak. Better cold than liquids dripping into a vehicle.